going to be a bumpy night.
What's going on, everybody? This is the Laugh Bunker podcast. My name is Josh. Paul, glad to be back. Took a little bit of a hiatus, a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, it was the Thanksgiving coma time.
Yeah.
I recovered. I OD'd on pumpkin pie.
And you got, I know you got sick. Are you feeling good now? Everything okay?
Yeah, it wasn't COVID. It was I had pumpkin pie rhea. Yeah, pyrrhea. That's what it was. And,
so was it food poisoning? Is that what you get? You can pretty much determine.
I don't know. Who knows?
A flu.
Every time you feel bad.
Yeah.
Did I drink too much? Was it something I ate? Who knows?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I did feel crappy for 3 days. But also at the end of those 3 days, remember that was the rough week with no sleep because of the ceiling caving in. And then Cynthia, my wife, she went to stay with my mom for Thanksgiving. Mm-hmm. And so it was me and my daughter, but really it was just the ceiling falling in. And then on Thursday, I baked for 7 hours.
Okay. What did you bake?
I just baked cookies.
What flavor or what?
I baked chocolate chip walnut, chocolate chip, peanut butter, and then I make these. I use the Heath bar chips. Milk chocolate Heath bar, and so I made those and just gave them to different people. I did trade for one of my bosses at work. I traded him cookies for a pumpkin pie and a sweet potato pie.
Nice.
And it's weird because Angie, from Service Express.
Yeah.
So her and her mom, I'm meeting them on Christmas Eve, and I'm trading them cookies for tamales. And they make kick-ass tamales.
Yeah.
I mean, really, her mom makes incredible.
Awesome.
And I'm kind of picky.
My wife and her aunts and everybody, they're coming over tomorrow night, and it'll be the second time making tamales. They make them different.
Hey, can you save me some?
I will.
I'll trade you. I'll bring cookies for tamales.
Yeah, I already told Liz that I want to set some aside for like my parents.
Thank you so much.
All that. Yeah.
I love.
They're different though. They're different than the normal tamales. They're like, they make the corn ones. They make the cheese and with green pepper inside.
I like those.
And then they have
they have the pollo verde, the chicken ones.
Yeah, the chicken ones.
I like that. That's probably my favorite one.
Yeah, and then they have the red ones. They call them Sonora style. So I don't know from where her mom's from Sonora. They have like chopped. They have carrots inside it. They have like vegetables inside with the meat. And it's different.
Can't have it. No vegetables.
Yeah.
No,
it's different.
It's different. I don't want to. I'm not going to be a vegetable murderer. I know you people. You like to take the vegetables, you cut them up, you burn them. You actually have ovens. It's almost like the Holocaust in a way. It's a green Holocaust. But
I'll save you a little bit of each, and you could try them.
Yes, I'm excited. I love tamales. When I was talking to you earlier, we were talking about when I worked at the front desk.
Yeah. At
the carpenter place or at the business, and I would meet people. But in Chicago, the trades were back in the 80s were pretty much split up.
Yeah.
The Irish guys did a lot of the rehab, a lot of the framing, a lot of the interior work. The Polish crews, they ran the siding, exterior, the windows, the doors, and the Mexican contractors, they owned the roofs.
Okay.
So we sold building supplies, but probably 75% of it was roofing, and the other 25% would be your metals, your windows, sheathing, siding, whatever. But they would come in, and I was friends with most of these guys, and they would bring in tamales. I mean, continually every day, because they come in, get their orders, they give me a tamale, we'd hang out, bullshit, whatever, and then I love them. Now out here, my wife's friend, Jackie, they go to really all the teachers go to this famous place, and I'll have to ask her what it was, but people stand in line. I want to say it's in Montebello, it's in East LA. Have you heard of this place? It's like world renowned.
It might be in East LA. It's
do you know the name of it?
I don't know the name of it. I think my wife and them went there one time to pick up some. It's in between. It's like at the end of. It's where Montebello and East LA meet. It's in that area.
Okay.
I believe so.
Well, they'll be going down there. So
Okay.
this way, I am set up for all the days of Hanukkah with tamales. I have 11 straight connections.
Yeah.
I got to bake for 35 hours to make the deal, but it'll work out.
Do you like pozole? Do you like pozole? It's like with the corn, the hominies.
Oh, yes.
And then it has chicken. So right now the mom just made some quick batch, but it's like chicken breast, big pieces of chicken. You kind of just shred it up, and then the corn, the hominies, and then it's green. It's like a green chili one. It's pretty good.
My wife and I were talking the other day that Mexican food is my favorite food. Now, growing up in Michigan, I didn't have I did not have Mexican food until I was a freshman in college.
Okay.
And that was when I went to college in Missouri. And I don't even think Taco Bell was just barely moving out at that time.
I think Taco Bell's the number one restaurant in America, I think.
Oh, probably not.
Yeah.
So, but I went with my girlfriend and her parents, and they were from Oklahoma, and they took me to a Mexican restaurant in Springfield, Missouri. And it was like, I mean, I had a steak burrito with the cheese, whatever. I don't remember, but it was just like, and so, because we had grown up on the Italian food and the pizza and the Labrats and whatever. But now I would have to say, even though I love Italian food, and I do make some killer spaghetti sauce, phenomenal.
Yeah.
And worked in Italian.
What you do? Yeah, what you do? I was lucky to have some of it. Yeah, you gave me some.
Oh no, I'll make some more.
Okay.
But Mexican food is my favorite, and I don't know if it's the seasoning of the meat. I don't know if it's the practicality that the best food you can just grab and walk away with and eat.
It's a little bit of everything, I think.
It's my favorite now.
I grew up.
It's not good for me.
No, it's not. I grew up with
not healthy at all, man.
Like I grew up with it around me. I grew up with it at house. So it's but we it's kind of one of those things we grow up and I guess we maybe take a little bit for granted. But when you talk about anybody that isn't Mexican, Mexican food is usually their favorite food. And I think because of the ingredients, the taste, the convenience, like it's just like it works for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. It's just like, and there's so many forms of it.
Hey, I make okay. So for breakfast yesterday, I made eggs and I used turkey bacon.
Yeah.
But then I used green verde salsa and cheese and I roll up in the tortillas and I make the fresh guac, and that's what we have. I mean, probably 90% of my breakfast has salsa or hot sauce on it. It is my favorite.
Yeah.
Except the only thing that's going to go one for me is a hot dog. And as sad as that sounds,
American food's you got burgers and hot dogs and all that stuff. It's great.
Well, okay. So talking about the trades, I made a trade with John Travolta.
Okay.
So I traded him cookies, and he's sending me Chicago pizzas. So and Eli cheesecake. So what I'll do is I'll bring over a pizza, cheesecake, and then we'll celebrate. But but I went to the store because everyone's freaked out. Did you try to go in the store this weekend, by the way?
No, I really haven't tried to go.
Yeah, don't.
Out.
Don't because
I don't need to. I went to Costco the other day. That was about it.
Well, where I went, every store I saw, there were massive lines.
Yeah.
So what happened last time when everyone got all freaked out? What was the number one products that were being, other than alcohol?
Oh, it was toilet paper.
And probably drugs. It was baking products.
Oh, baking products too. Yes.
Baking products.
Yeah, you're right.
Flour. You couldn't get. I couldn't. So I went out the other day and I bought $120 worth of just chips.
Yeah.
No, I mean just bags of chips. Like literally, I have to go support the floor underneath because it could cave in. My wife said, I said it all disappeared last time.
Yeah.
And so this time I have everything. So
we're not going to have a food shortage and the markets is still open, but people panic shop.
Well,
it's all gone.
What's the season though? But what's the season? It's not just a panic. You're on the most, I would say it would safe statistic to say that between Thanksgiving and New Year's, more products are baked in this country than at any other time.
Oh yeah. You're right.
Correct?
You're right.
Correct. Okay. So that's why you put it in.
And
I only
chips, you mean chocolate chips?
chocolate chips.
Not Tostitos chips. Not Frito Lays.
No, but I did make
yeah.
one time I made cookies that were Fritos,
Uh-huh.
candy corn.
Okay. Nice.
No, they were freaking.
Okay.
They were. I
Are
mean,
you a fan? Are you a fan of candy corns?
I eat the whole bag. I can.
Yeah. I've never been into candy corn.
I'm gonna make a confession here, and I don't normally do this. Confess it because I don't trust the priests anymore. But that I eat sugar sometimes.
Okay. Yeah. I
mean,
how do you eat it though? Do you like the spoonfuls?
Okay, so at work,
Uh-huh.
they use this brown sugar or this like organic sugar. It's in the packets, right?
Yeah, those are good. The brown ones, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are great.
And it's kind of reminds me of an old candy called candy corn. Or rock candy. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Rock candy. Remember
because
rock candy?
The crystals are large.
Yeah. It was like pure sugar.
Yeah.
So sometimes because, and I shouldn't do this, and it's not the healthiest, but I really can tell when my blood sugar drops.
Mm-hmm.
Like I get really sick to my stomach quickly.
Okay.
And I start sneezing because I'm kind of borderline diabetic.
Okay.
So and because I do a lot of fasting.
Yeah. So
not for spiritual reasons, but for ego reasons.
You've thrown your your
truth
metabolism, everything out of whack at times.
What threw it out of whack was 3 or 4 years ago. I think it was my 54th birthday. I wanted to be ripped.
Mm-hmm.
So I talked to I was working out with bodybuilders. So I got some lower dosages of steroids, not the anabolic, but more of the androgen. So what I wanted to do was just remove more of the fat. So I used Anavar in a very low dosage of Winstrol, which is not the best because it's hard on the liver.
Yeah.
So, and I eat the bodybuilding diet. I mean, you eat 6 meals and it's all the size of your hand and you don't have anything like this and you're working out like a maniac. And my wife was like, I mean, I have a picture. I don't show pictures, but I mean, I had a full 6-pack at 54. Wow. But I was also lifting massive weights too because of that, because Anavar is a strength. So I'm working out, benching 320s, 340s.
Do you feel most people can get up to that amount in terms of like lifting weights? Because I've never been a bench press type of person or a squat person. Never try to max myself out or try to go higher and as high as I could.
Yeah, of course.
Is it something that like can be taught, be learned, be get trained physically? Your body adapts to it, or is it some people are just like maybe yourself that like structurally can just hold that type of weight?
my lineage skipped. Man, I went right from the ape so therefore my appendages. I mean, my wife can't get enough bananas, but other than that, I am stinking ripped. No, listen. The older I get, it's interesting how like I always told you, I only met 2 people in my whole life that had shoulders that weren't on steroids.
Yeah.
One was, and they had bowling ball shoulders. They looked like they had Chiquita bananas, and they were just natural. That to me is always, that's how I can tell. Or that's when I become suspect. Also, how cut they are, because it's really hard to be super cut and have a roundness.
Yeah.
But that being said, in today's world, I saw a guy one time, this black guy at a drug-free meet in Chicago. And this is back now when we lifted in the old days. Mm-hmm. Okay. So when I was working with those crews and, was involved with the church for 22 years, there was nothing in my system and there was only milk and egg protein and brewer's yeast. Okay. And then amino acids in a liquid that tasted like urine. It was horrible. It probably was. It was just a joke. There wasn't. So for that in my life, but during those times, I benched 405 twice. Mm-hmm. I benched 315 10 times. I squatted 505. I cleaned 245 off the ground. Yeah. I did we had the fitness that we could. It was just crazy. It was, and our job was roofing at that time, so it was like everyone worked hard and then went to the same gym, and so you had that ego. So yes, for me it was. To that point, yes, I had taken some light steroids in college, but comparatively to what these people take, was just minuscule. It was from a family doctor, so he administered. I think the first time I took Anavar, I took 5 milligrams a day. The dosage now is probably 60 to 80 milligrams, and this is when I was 18, so I was already stronger. But my bench went from 245 to 300 in 5 weeks.
Wow. Okay. So I mean, with it, like those enhancements or whatever, like with the supplements, steroids or whatever, you obviously
it's a genetic thing too.
It pushes the progress a lot faster, so you can get to that point a lot quicker. You build the muscle a lot quicker. You shred the fat.
Well, and certain people are stronger.
Yeah,
I'm long waisted. Okay, so because and this is what cost me to have the herniated disc a few years ago. Being long waisted, when I squat, there's massive torque on my waist.
Okay.
So I'm always having to fight coming back.
Yeah.
Some guys who are like Rich, I mean, he's a thumb. I mean, that dude just doesn't even move. And his legs are big as houses. I was strong bencher though.
Yeah.
That's where my strength was. Tricep bench. And I only cared about that. But though we still, if you didn't work your legs, you were ridiculed.
Yeah. Oh, you sent me that picture of Chris Hemsworth.
Like, what the heck? Listen, in this, What
do you think he's on?
Well, probably the same stuff that Hugh Jackman took, and the same stuff that you were talking about Michael Mann.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I was watching Ali. And you'll notice Will Smith, pretty interesting physique there that never left. Even when he went to do I Am Legend and he's cut to shreds.
He shredded it. Yeah, he leaned up.
Yeah, but look at his shoulders and the upper, and that never disappears once it's built like that. I mean, hey, you can do the diet thing and look really good.
Yeah.
But if you're a movie star, who's got time? Your trainer administers stuff. But the calf thing during COVID, I mean, people were really concerned about the COVID. They're concerned about the riots, about the election. I'm concerned about all the men in shorts whose calves I've had to look at the last 3 months. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
If you're in the gym and you got a big upper body and no legs, everybody's laughing at you.
Yeah.
Or are praying for you that you recover from polio. These sound like harsh things.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you.
It's true. It's noticeable, though. Yeah.
It is. Listen, if you got massive calves and you're walking, people are like, damn, look at those calves. What the hell? No matter what else is there. No matter what.
Yeah.
Calves are the biceps of the body.
Yeah.
If you got a big upper body and you ain't got calves, you have no respect.
Yeah.
You bench 500-600 pounds. Okay. Yes, we get it. All right. You can crush us, but still, you're going to fall over once you stand up.
Did you ever hear of those guys that would get implants in their calves? Did you ever see those? I think there was an MTV. There was an MTV True Life.
No. There was this guy who had all those implants done. And really, you know what? You could spend half the time and money just getting on a standing calf machine or seated calf, or even getting off your ass and doing a set of stairs.
Yeah.
You know but see, I don't have big calves. No matter what, it's just not my genetic.
No, me neither.
But they're cut. I mean, that sounds so weird and egotistical, but when you're hiking a lot, you don't need. In fact, I wore my new hiking boots. And I bought these boots, and they are.
You showed me them, right?
They're the yellow ones. They're the
crampon high tech ones. Yeah.
Well, no, the ones I showed you are just trail shoes.
Okay.
Those were $200.
Okay.
But man, they feel so good. But anyway, I got a Step Up, which is almost like a hybrid crampon accessible for mountaineering. So I wore them at work yesterday. I walked 9 miles with them, and from my knees down, I need heroin or cocaine to numb them because they're pretty sore. The feet are incredible. No blisters, feel great. But when you change just a little bit of torque on your body, So going back to the bench press,
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in an era where it was a little bit, there was a lot of toxic muscularity
Yeah,
in the old days. And it was all, I mean, people were like, if someone was lifting heavier than you were pissed off. And I lifted at a private gym
mm-hmm.
that was associated with people who I worked with, and most of them Christians, and just really out of control. But I mean, the weights and there was a group in there that was saying that bodybuilding was linked to Sodom and Gomorrah.
Okay.
And so there was a little bit of animosity. Now I like the bodybuilding because, I mean, I want to get oiled up. I mean, really, who doesn't want to get oiled up and wear panties?
Well, I told you, I don't know if I told you, the gym that I started at all the way up until my early 20s, it was well over here in Whittier, traditionally all bodybuilding gym. The guys in there were gigantic. A lot of them had their pictures on the
massive
wall.
Juices, huh?
Massive guys. One of them was even on a recent ESPN documentary.
What's his name?
Rory. What's his last name?
Calkin?
Possibly.
No. That Rory Calkin's the brother of the other Calkin brother. Rory.
Oh no. I'll get his name. I'll send you a picture of him. But he's always there. There was one guy who worked for that, that uniform company, Cintas. They drive around the trucks. Yeah. So he was a massive, like bodybuilder. He's like half Hawaiian, half white dude. Really nice. And then he was there. They're all like, but their photos are all up on the wall. Rory, who's like the big dog of the gym, has this like 5 foot by like 3 poster, black and white shot of him hanging up in the middle of the gym, like right once you walk in.
You have to kneel when you walk in?
You have to pray bow to him.
Well,
he's a nice guy.
Have you been to Venice though?
Yeah. I've walked by, especially when they're
okay. Have you been inside?
No.
Okay, we're gonna go there when it ever opens again. Okay. Because it has the same thing, but you're talking about these walls are Arnold, Franco Colombo.
Yeah, these guys are local heroes.
But still, I lifted in also some local gyms that were like that. Mm-hmm. But Gold's is the Mecca.
Yeah.
Great. I mean, I've been there, and I've shared equipment with Arnold.
Yeah.
I've shared equipment with Van Damme, Will Ferrell, which that really didn't mean much to me. And even the TMZ guy.
Yeah.
You know who the lawyer guy from TMZ?
Oh, Harvey Levin.
Yeah. I was working on it. I said, why don't you smile, man? He goes, what's your smile about? I said, dude, look at your bank account. Come work with me. And he stopped for a minute and he went, you know who else was there a lot? Sure. I talked to Josh Brolin there one time about the Oliver Stone movie about George. It was really, he's a pretty cool guy.
Yeah, I saw him at a fight one time. He's a big MMA guy.
He's a smaller guy, but he's
like
cool
5'9",
9 maybe?
5'9", 5'10", something like that.
Well,
he looked a little taller when I saw him.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it was from a distance. Yeah, he did. I think he did.
Anyway, in his lifting shoes, he appeared to be a little short. But anyway, lifting in the old days was about strength. And even Arnold and all these guys had massive benches in the old days. Now, I see people at the gym doing the band just to get the pump. And you got the muscle. But the problem is when you do the heavy weight, you build the muscles that support the bones. And when the muscles support the bones, you get less injuries and you get muscles that don't disappear.
Yeah.
Like I was on my way back. My goal for 58 was to do 350 on the bench. And before the shutdown, March 22nd, I did a double at 295 and I did a set of 14 at 2 1/4. So I was working my way up, but even the difference in my body of going to this gym a couple times a week, and I only go to the speakeasy outside gym to do heavier weight. So I'll do the squats, the leg press, the bench, the incline, the military, the deadlift, things I can't do at home. Yeah. But I've put weight on again. Okay. And not bad weight. I mean, I have to get all new pants.
You got to hibernate soon. Yeah. It's winter.
For what?
For this winter.
No winter here, man. It's beautiful. Anyway, yes, people can do it. And I think that bodybuilding is essential.
Yeah.
To spend a quarter of your year. And if you do it because bodybuilding is about muscle balance.
Yeah.
And if you use muscle balance exercises with proper strength training, like we always in the old days said, who cares how many reps? We'll just do more sets.
Yeah.
So we were always, our benches were we lived on the pyramid.
Yeah.
12, 10, 8, 6, 4, 2, whatever the 8 is, try to get 10. When you get it, you move up.
Yeah.
Because just handling the heavier weight at 2 creates the muscles that makes the set before not seem so heavy.
Yeah.
But bodybuilding works the rear delts, it works the hamstrings and the muscles. The reason people get knee injuries, too big of quads. Or their hamstrings get too big because they're runners or whatever. But it just really makes a difference, and especially the shoulders. So that being said,
I liked it. I remember I had a lot of cool memories of that gym, but like a lot of cool people. The main guy, Rich, older, former bodybuilder.
Is it not there anymore?
I know for the pandemic they had to close up real quick, but I don't know if it's going to come back. I don't know if they're just like.
What was the name of it?
It's Uptown Gym.
Really? I lived in Uptown.
Yeah,
Chicago.
Oh,
I mean,
Chicago?
that's what the area was called, Uptown, where I lived.
Whittier, right here, right over the hill, where I grew up, mainly there in Pico Rivera. But the main like town center area is Whittier, is Uptown. Uptown. That's what they call it.
So how long has that been there?
The gym?
Yeah,
quite a long time. I mean,
old school then, right?
Old school,
70s, 80s stuff.
Yeah,
for sure, right?
Yeah.
And that's why
not a lot of women. You know, like there would be maybe 2 that would regularly come. Every now and then you get 1 that would pop in, and then I don't know. Maybe there's too much male testosterone. A lot of big guys. A lot of
gyms were different back
it's
then.
Smaller too,
and
yeah.
No, I mean it's funny because I lifted.
It's not like an LA Fitness for sure.
I lifted in college. Everyone started on the plastic weights from Sears, the Ted Williams set, which had the concrete and the plastic covering. And then the first gym I went was when I was, and then I lifted with these guys in a program that was interesting. And then when I went to college was the first time I was at a gym.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked out with this guy named Ralph Lombardo. And Ralph Lombardo was a Bible major, and he wouldn't go to the gym till after he did his devotions.
Okay.
But then I asked him, well, what does the Bible say about steroids? And he says, well, if it's not in the book, I don't worry about it. This dude, man, I'm going to tell you what. First day I worked out with him, he said, hey, have you done legs? And I said, well, no, of course not. Why would I do that? I was in prison. I'm a prison lifter. Chest and buys. Isn't that all that matters? So we did squats and hack squats, leg curls, leg extensions, standing calf raises, and seated calf raises. I think we spent about an hour and a half of that. Okay. And I'm pushing as much as I can. I didn't leave my dorm for a week. I couldn't even, I couldn't even sit on the toilet for a week.
When you do like workouts like that, and you put through whole new workouts and like, especially when you're lifting weights, and oh man, you're done. You could like, I remember the last time I did a circuit on the legs, but like a real strenuous like lifting circuit on the legs, man. It kills you, man. You can't get up off the couch. You're like an old senior citizen.
Dude, if I want, hey, okay. And on that statement, I'll say this one thing. I've been involved in exercise since I was 19.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, exercise on the level of, pushing it.
Yeah.
And I have never not been sore.
Yeah.
I mean, if I am, and the few times I was, I realized I wasted my time. And one thing I learned a long time ago, because we were always pushing the weight and doing, trying to outdo one another, or we were on programs, and powerlifting was huge. One of our big fans was a guy named Ed Cohen. Ed Cohen had like 1,000-pound squat, 600-700-pound bench, weighing 220.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Obviously a great drug program, but he also said about doing the bodybuilding and doing it. So we did all the strength training back then, and that is what kept with us. But the truth is, the bodybuilding and all these guys that do that keeps you healthy. And so even though it has the connotations, but as I've gotten older, if I don't feel like I can get it, I cheat. I'll do something totally different. Okay, it's not as heavy. It's not part of the thing. But I wake up the next day sore. My body goes, that mother. he beat us again. Damn it! I hate this guy.
Yeah.
So, but because of that, I do that, and you know what? It's easy to go out and do something different.
Yeah.
But I have back after bodybuilding and going and getting into climbing. I'm into this work capacity. So today was the first day I ran. Now I ran
Uh-huh.
2 miles,
Okay.
and then I came and worked out for an hour. But I did all legs with dumbbells.
Yeah, because you're not a runner really. You
Well,
don't.
no, I was a runner when I was
Okay.
younger.
Okay.
After my dad had his quintuple bypass, I ran a lot. I think running is one of the best exercises.
No, I used to love running.
It's
You know,
good for the brain. I haven't done it in a long time, and I only
yeah.
did 2 slow miles. But it took me time to get going. But we ran along the lakefront all the time in Chicago,
Yeah.
and it was very peaceful.
I,
Here
I
I'm
used to I
running.
used to like going to the gym and getting on the treadmill and running, doing 2 miles for the most part, like just regular like on the daily. And then when I wanted to push it, I'd do I think it went up to maybe 5 or 6, but I
I
usually
can't
like
do the treadmill.
I usually like to keep it at 2 or 3 miles, and then push it at the end. But I don't do that anymore. I don't do those. Days are done.
I can. I'm not coordinated. One time I shot off the treadmill. You know how people jump off on the side?
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
missed with one of my foot, and I went down and I shot off. I scared the hell out of these Asian ladies. They probably are still talking about it. Do you remember that
Yeah.
white guy? What an idiot.
But it's good. It's good when you're eating a lot and you're lifting a lot, and then you get on the treadmill, and then you almost like you feel like you're burning off that excess layer of fat, and you're burning
I
those
like
calories.
this. Listen, year round,
Yeah.
I wear the hoodie, and I wear these hoodies from this gym in Jackson Hole, Wyoming,
Uh-huh.
called Mountain Technical Institute. A lot of their training I have incorporated into my life. They train the best guides in the world. They train Olympic athletes. They train Navy SEALs. They
Yeah.
train firefighters. I mean, and it's all work capacity stuff. But they designed a hoodie for working out.
Hmm.
It's actually 4 inches longer. So when you do pull-ups, it doesn't. It's thick. I've watched it. I've had this one I have now for 5 years. I've watched it
Uh-huh.
every once a week. It looks brand new,
Uh-huh.
but I like to sweat. And I heard an interview
Yeah.
years ago about Clint Eastwood. They asked him, how do you stay in such shape? You know, you're acting, you're directing. He goes, you got to sweat hard 1 hour a day. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter the activity. If you do it, so I am drenched when I'm done. In the
Yeah.
summer, I wear the hoodie. I ran with it today. I mean, I have different ones, but I like to be sweat hard,
Yeah.
move
Same.
out the toxins. It makes you look more cut. You do burn the fat, and it does. It warms up the joints, and it works really well.
Even during
I
the
liked it.
summer, I have the home gym right here. I showed you, I think. And during the summer when it was really hot, I would, you would want to open the garage door to let some air in so you could like get a cool breeze every now and then. But no, I like to close it up, suffocate in there, sweat like a freaking dog, and then come out.
Well, you're getting twice off. So
Yeah.
I'm going to run 3 times a week, but I'm also going to start doing some more hiking. I need to do one expedition day. So my
Mhm.
goal is to start spending about 8 to 10 hours one day a week up in the mountains, carrying I bought a new backpack. It's
Nice.
the same backpack that I had in the 90s. I mean, it's updated now, and it's so much
Uh,
lighter than the old days. But no, you know what? This year, what really has with my age is that when I used to go to the gym and someone was on the bench, I'd be like, oh my God, my program's effed up. What am I going to do?
yeah.
You know what? I have no stress. I
Yeah.
don't need to prove anything. I walk in the gym and I do what I can and I leave. I
Yeah.
don't have any stress. I just try when I go to the gym to do the heavier, to handle the weight. But at home, I've learned, question, I don't ever listen to music when I work out except from at home. So when you listen to music, do
Uh,
you listen to music when you work out?
now I watch stuff on YouTube,
Okay.
or like I'm working out and I'm listening to it while it's on. So
Okay.
I put it on my phone, put it up where the elliptical's at. It has a little
Hmm.
holder. I put it there. When I wasn't going to the gym, yeah, I would do a lot of music, or or a podcast. I was even like Joe Rogan back in the day. I used to listen to that. But before the podcast came along, it was definitely music. I hate not having something, or having to listen to whatever music they have going on at the gym. Something, but luckily it was like a lot of classic rock, so it wasn't too bad. But
I listen to the Mama and Papa station
okay.
on Pandora. It's this late 60s Southern California Motown Supremes, even some Skinnerd in there, Simple Man or whatever. I just really like it. I don't know why. I love Gordon Lightfoot, John Denver, all this very acoustical. So, and I never listen to music at the gym. I'm in my own head, and when I run, I never liked it because I ran with the beat.
Yeah,
and it kind of threw me off for some reason.
Yeah, it does.
So,
it does.
Whatever, and that's funny. So, anyway,
what have you been watching? How about that? We'll start with let's get in some film and television movies.
Okay, so we don't have a massive amount of time. So, anyway, since we talked about fitness, we talked about the fitness, which is important. More important than movies.
Yeah.
Except for Arnold movies. You know how many bad Arnold movies I saw in my life that I had to go see to create this guy? That guy owes me.
He's got a lot of good movies, though. He's got a lot of classics.
Yeah. Classics. AFI top 100. No, I mean, obviously it was a different time, whatever. But anyway,
I think Kindergarten Cop's got to be up there. Yeah.
I go back now the Queen's Gambit has become my Narcos.
Okay.
That's my go-to show eating when I get off with you and I'm going to eat dinner. That's what I'll be watching.
Now they're talking about bringing it up a second season, or she's willing to do a second season. I don't think they need to. I think. What do you feel?
What do I feel?
How do you feel about it?
If
they did bring a second season.
Well, it's interesting because also since I've seen you last, I did watch his first series. The director, what is his name? Scott Frank. Mm-hmm. He did Godless. Yeah. Now Godless is a cowboy. I think it's from 2016 or 2017. It's from a novel. Mm-hmm. And it has a couple players that we do know. Michelle Dockery from Downton Abbey. Yeah. It's got Scooter Braun from Narcos, Mexico, the DEA agent. And then it's got Emmett Weaver, which is
Jeff Daniels too.
And Jeff Daniels.
Yeah.
And he, being a movie actor, I don't place him. So in other words, there's nothing for me to connect to him, even though I love him. I mean, I'm not thinking Dumb and Dumber because for some reason he has separated himself from every character.
Yeah.
Even Squid and the Whale, or even going back to Terms of Endearment, one of my favorite movies of all time.
I liked him in that HBO series.
Newsroom.
Or something like that, right?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
So anyway, that being said, it's got some great moments, but I keep seeing Scooter Braun and Narcos because how many times did I watch Narcos Mexico? 250?
Yeah, me too. Same.
So
yeah.
And I love the Weaver girl's character in Nurse Jackie.
Yeah.
It doesn't work from her being a lesbian. I'm going to shoot you with a gun. It was just too much. And Michelle Dockery's Downton Abbey, no matter what she wears or whatever. There's some great moments. He used this series, but his next series, The Queen Gambit, it's still right on for me. And it's funny. 2 people from Godless are in Queen's Gambit.
Which ones?
Benny.
Oh, okay.
From what was that? Love Actually. And then the 2 twins who help her.
Yeah.
They are the most vicious murderers, psycho murderers in Godless. I mean, the most. And Jeff Daniels loves them and takes them on there whenever he needs to do some dirtier than their normal killers. He brings them on. So it had its part, but it just I couldn't separate it. But when you look at this guy who knows story. I mean, when you're doing when you're writing the scripts for, he wrote for the Wonder Years. That was where he started back in '88. He did Little Man Tape with Jodie Foster. He did Get Shorty with John Travolta. And I asked Travolta, I said, hey, what do you think of this Queen Gambit? And he said, he was right on. He said, man, okay, spoiler alert, when her when she picks up the phone and it's Benny and he says we. This is it, and you find out the guy from Harry Potter was phenomenal in this movie. Did you see him in that small episode of the Buster Scruggs, the Coen Brothers Western thing?
No, the only part I watched of that movie was the miner, the gold miner.
The only one I saw was the one with this Henry Milling, who's now thin, and he's a sideshow piece with no arms and legs, and he's being manipulated by Liam Neeson. It is worth watching.
Okay.
I highly recommend it. But anyway, I keep going. So anyway, then he worked with Soderbergh and George Clooney. Then he worked with Spielberg and Tom Cruise, and then he did Logan or Wolverine, and then Logan. So when you write all that, he's pretty good with story. And I thought, I know we've talked about it, but Logan, I think
did you I was going to ask you, did you watch it? Yeah.
The opening with the car thing?
Mm-hmm.
The only thing that got it, to me, the girl was the weakest part for some reason. I would have been happy with this relationship with the old bald guy. I don't know his name. Star Trek dude. And then the weird mystic guy. Those three, their relationships.
That was a great pairing. Yeah,
it was. So anyway, but when you do that, Queen's Gambit is my new Narcos, and this girl, I just can't get enough of her. And that final scene with the old men is just bomber. I watch it continually, and that girl's a movie. And you know what? They did that on a pretty good budget because obviously everything in Russia was CGI and different things. Yeah. But I really thought it was. You recommended it, and the truth is, you knocked it out of the park. So far this year, it's in my top.
Yeah, me too.
My top number one.
Yeah.
Though I did watch something else that comes up in my top 5.
Okay.
And it's the movie Mosul.
Okay.
The war movie. Have you seen it?
No. You asked me to check it out. I did look it up on Netflix. I put it on my list. I watched the trailer part of it. I watched the trailer, and it looked pretty good. Even the main actor, the older man.
I'd never seen him before. He's from Iraq, by the way.
So he looked familiar, and I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it, but one of my viewings this week was.
His name is Suhal Dabakh.
One of my viewings.
I thought he was tremendous myself.
Yeah, if he's the same guy that I'm thinking. I'm not sure if he is or not, but I watched Kingdom of Heaven, the one with.
He might be in that because he's in a couple Middle Eastern movies that have English in them also. So I agree. He's a movie star and he steals the part. And I don't want to go on about this movie, but this opening sequence is as intense. This movie has me on the edge of my freaking seat.
And it's a foreign language.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the visual of this movie, the guys who produced it did the Marvel movie, Avengers.
Okay.
Now, a lot of people are getting down on this movie because Iraqi people did not write this movie. It was written by a guy from a book, but it follows the Iraq SWAT wiping out ISIS. And let me tell you what.
But the whole cast is Iraqi. Like, they're all Middle Eastern actors.
I don't want to go on more, but I want people to watch this movie.
Yeah.
It is phenomenal. When you see what it's all about, it's just got what movies should have.
Yeah.
But overall, when you are raised or people are shooting machine guns over your freaking head and you live in rubble, it makes pretty much everything in this country a first world problem.
Pretty much.
And you're talking about children.
Pretty much.
And the intensity of this. So then I watched the movie The Outpost.
Okay.
Now, have you seen this movie?
No, I haven't. That's on Netflix too, I believe.
Netflix too. It's with Clint Eastwood's son, Scott Eastwood.
Scott Eastwood. Uh-huh.
And the reason I watched it is that my friend Rich, who I worked out with in LAPD guy state, and also the painter guy I'm working with right now, helping out. We had a friend at Gold's Gym who was there.
Okay.
Now he's not a friend. We're not hanging out, but it's a guy. When you work out at the gym, you get this circle, and he was one of the younger guys, and he respected me and Rich, and so he told us he had PTSD.
Yeah,
and he was unable to continue, and he was trying to go into engineering. He was just a great guy. So I watched it. So when you watch this movie, you watch these two movies, you're like, man,
Yeah.
I'm getting mad over traffic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got to
Yeah.
stand in line to go a store. Well, guess
Yeah.
what? There ain't no stores.
Yeah.
So anyway, those two movies. Scott Eastwood, have you seen him in anything?
Nothing I can remember. I know the guy. I've known about him for a long time. So
Well, I have really not
he's
seen
popped up
him.
here and there. I've never really seen him. I can't recall anything.
Yeah, when he talks, it's his dad.
Yeah.
No.
He looks like his dad too.
No, he talks out of the side of his mouth like his dad.
Mm-hmm.
So just even Google a scene from the whatever. So I also watched The Crown.
Okay.
Caught up, and I had caught the first couple seasons with Claire Foy, and I really enjoyed it. Olivia Colman is now the older queen.
Mm-hmm.
She won the Oscar a couple years ago for Best Supporting Actress for that comedy movie. Or not really comedy movie, but strange.
It was what's it called? What was it called?
It was kind of like a Pride and Prejudice type of movie, kind of English thing. It's my wife's favorite.
Her, Rachel Weisz,
and
Emma Stone, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And but what's interesting is that Gillian Anderson is playing Margaret Thatcher.
Yeah.
And this fourth season is dealing mainly with Diana.
She's done a lot of British UK work. Have you noticed that about Gillian Anderson?
Yeah.
She's not British.
But isn't she Scottish or something, or Welsh?
I don't know. But she doesn't have an accent.
I don't know her background, but
she's
too thin for Margaret Thatcher. Got it down. But also, we are, for my age,
mm-hmm.
I grew up with Margaret Thatcher in the news. Diana, I lived her life. So it's too close for me to separate. And it's, my wife loves the show. So I did spend time on that. Now, I did spend, I watched Mank, which is on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go into it. I could not get hooked into it as well as I would have. Regular David Fincher movie. Yeah. One of my favorite directors.
Mm-hmm.
And originally he was supposed to shoot this film with Kevin Spacey and Jodie Foster after the game. And it's from his dad wrote the script.
Uh-huh.
I need to watch it again, but I did not get hooked. And then the last thing I watched was Emily in Paris. And I was just like, really?
Yeah.
She wonders why her co-workers don't respect her in France when she moves there. If she got off her phone and learned French, they would love her. So anyway, I just couldn't get, and the girl, Lily Collins, she's beautiful.
It was also in Mank.
In Mank, and she has less of a role in Mank. She's the assistant, but yet she has such a presence. She's gorgeous, very talented, nothing negative to her, but I just can't relate to the people.
Yeah.
Great scenery. My wife who'd been to France, that's why she showed me the show, was to see the scenery, but just couldn't connect with it, but did make a stab. Mm-hmm. So this week, and anything you got to tell me? What do you like?
I finished Breaking Bad.
Is that the first time of going through?
For the first time going through it.
Okay, who's your favorite character?
Walter.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. I like that.
You're the first person, though, that I've heard say that, by the way.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? I like it.
Most people like Jesse.
I don't like Jesse, man. I was annoyed by Jesse. If I was Walter, I would have killed Jesse a long time ago. I can't.
I understand. Totally. I got to go with two people.
Uh-huh.
Gus.
Yeah, I love Gus.
I love Gus, and Mike. I think Mike is probably my favorite character.
Mike's great.
He even becomes a father to Jesse.
Which I liked about his character, because he's like this cold hitman, kind of like cleanup kind of guy. But then he really takes on to Jesse, and I think Jesse even looked at him as like a father figure too.
Oh, he totally did, and
even
he took
more
him
so
under
than
his arm.
Even more so than Walter, and I just never got like. Even when they
why
told him, like,
okay, so why did Walter?
Mm-hmm.
Why did Walter? What did the money mean anything to Walter? What was this all about?
It was the thrill. for the most
It
part.
was about that he was the little guy.
Yeah, and he even mentioned it at the last moment. He had the scene he had with his wife, where she was like, "Stop lying to me," blah blah blah. I did like when he was saying, "I did this for the family," and then she was like, "Just," he's like, "No, I did it for me. You know, I did it for I felt alive."
Because he got swindled out by the girl he loved and the other guy,
Yeah,
and he never got to do. And here's this brilliant engineer, scientist, physicist,
Chemist.
you know, on a level, you know, world renowned, Nobel Prize level. And where does he end up? He's at a high school.
High school. Mm-hmm.
So
in the middle of New Mexico, you know. So
and
like,
I was Breaking Bad has got to be in the top 5 TV shows.
It's got to be, because every episode is
encapsulated like a movie. You feel like a movie every show. I love it.
And there's no time wasted in the show. There's one episode where it's like you have the fly.
Oh, I couldn't take it.
Yeah, that was definitely a filler episode, but it did have some moments in it and some that pushed the story along.
Well, yeah, because we know what's going on because of the visual. But I think the show is incredible.
Yeah,
Vince Vaughn, A+. His ability to carry that story all the way through. Was he
a part of the writing process?
He created everything.
Vince Vaughn?
Yeah. No, not Vince Vaughn. I'm sorry. Not Vince Vaughn.
Vince Gillian or Vince
Gillian.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn had nothing to do with this.
The one season I thought had its weakest moments in terms of, maybe it was just the character for the wife. I thought the 4th season was probably the weakest in terms of like character
crashing and stuff.
Was it that one? It's when him and Gus's relationship is that part of the story was good, but then like the character that annoyed me too was the wife. Like, are you in? Are you out? Are you okay with what's going on? Or are you not okay? Like, you all of a sudden get a conscience after a while. Like,
I loved the first season.
Yeah, the first season great
because the introduction is phenomenal of the characters.
Yeah,
I like the end, but I'd have to say the 6th season is probably my more favorite season. But I
think it's 5 seasons, so the last season then.
Right? Okay, yeah, no, 4 seasons. Well, I love that they brought back the guy from Scarface to be the cartel leader.
Yeah.
And I think that whole
scene
episode
was cool,
that whole episode of getting in and out was just tremendous.
Yeah.
It's an A+ show.
It is.
Even
the way it ended, I thought the way it ended was great. Sad. You know, that one of the moments was when he says sees his daughter for the last time. He's like, "Can I see her?" And then he goes and he spends some time with her while she's in the crib asleep, and then. And he, because he's got to go do what he's got to do. He's not going to make it past the end of the night, really. So I thought it was great. I thought I enjoyed it, every moment, every episode, all the way to the end. Walter is my favorite character because I know why he's doing it. Like, it's definitely for the family. It's definitely for his own pride.
Well, it might have started for the family, but
it started for the family. But even then, it wasn't just about the family. It was also to
respect.
It's respect. It was to get a little, because it was a little bit of everything. And
you know what my favorite scenes? They're trying to buy the PCP or whatever it is, and they come to the gang in the desert.
Yeah,
and they got the cool guy with the leather jacket. And he goes, "You know my name." Yes, yeah. I think that is just stinking. Because
he had these moments of being like a menacing tough guy, and then he also had like the next scene or the next episode, like he's actually confronted in a very physical way. He's like he cowers like a normal person would. I like that.
And I liked a lot of the underlings, friends of Jesse's. Those 2 guys.
Yeah, those 2 guys are cool.
I thought they were good. I loved the girlfriend with the son. There's just it's a phenomenon.
The brother-in-law.
Everything.
Everything. I thought all the characters.
It's 100% show. There's my wife and I will agree. It's one of the few shows of no weakness.
Yeah.
Mad Men's another one of our shows for us that would be in the top 5. It's kind of like that. And the Queen's Gambit for me will always now be in the top 5 just because of what I've liked. So, did you see El Camino?
No. So I haven't seen El Camino yet. I haven't seen.
When you see it, then I want to talk. We'll talk about it.
Have you gotten into Better Call Saul or no?
I did, and the truth is, my favorite character in that was his girlfriend.
Okay.
I love her, man. I think she's just spectacular. But the problem is I'm ghosting. Like, come on, let me get to the stuff. What's going to happen? When
Yeah,
are we
yeah.
going to get to what really counts? I want Gus involved. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So
So yeah,
because of
I haven't
that,
gone to those two, which I like because I got through 5 seasons of Breaking Bad, which was great, and then I have more to look forward to. I have the movie, and then I have Better Call Saul, which has like Mike and Saul and Gus and all these other characters that you like and love. So it's really, and they, I don't know what season they're on. They're like 4 or 5 seasons already with that show.
I don't know. I've been going in and out. I watched it and then I forgot. It kind of falls in the same character as the Ozarks. Is the new episode
Yeah,
out or whatever? I'm not. I don't really look for that kind of stuff, but I
yeah,
really I enjoy I enjoyed that Breaking Bad. And the
yeah,
truth is, man, when it was going on, it
yeah.
reminded me of Seinfeld. So when Seinfeld was going to end, we had a big party
Hmm.
at our house. And man, it was packed out. And it was just like, but till that, everybody was trying to watch everything they caught up.
Yeah,
So when Breaking Bad, I kind of watched and then I kind of fell away. And then when I heard it was ending, I was binging.
yeah,
But what you'll notice is when you watch it again, you miss tons of crap.
yeah.
And that's what I noticed is when little clues that are supposed to be caught were there.
Who was your
But,
favorite character?
oh, it's Mike bar none,
Okay, Mike. Okay,
and Gus is number two.
yeah. For me,
And
it's probably
and I got to go with the one guy, kind of three, Tuco,
too cool. Yeah, okay.
just because I just saw that guy in a movie. Uh,
He's in Training Day.
he, no, back in the movie with the Clancy movie. William Dafoe's in it. Harrison Ford. They're in Colombia. They're taking on the cartel. I forget.
Yeah, I forget the name.
Clear and Present
Okay,
Danger.
okay, yeah, yeah.
And he's one of the army guys. As
Oh,
a young
really?
guy in there, yeah. And he's in the movie with Kurt Russell. They take over the plane.
Oh,
Seagal gets killed in the first 5 minutes.
Halle Berry's in it too, no?
Yeah. So he's in that
Damn.
too. So he has found his. So I enjoy, and that scene where they're in the desert and they're trying to put the poison in, and then you got Salamanca and Salamanca.
That was a
I
great character
thought
too.
that guy was great too. He didn't say
Yeah.
nothing and owned. You could just the
And
hate.
even the scene where the flashback scene where the twins are young and he's like,
Oh yeah,
drowning one of them. He's like, "What are you
to
gonna
teach
like?"
a lesson.
Yeah, teach a lesson. That was a good scene. Yeah.
Okay, going back to Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
There's elements of these people's lives,
Uh-huh.
and even in El Camino that don't want to talk about, but these people are part of it, and you'll enjoy them.
Yeah.
Because you see how it grew, so to
Okay.
speak. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I don't
what else? You got anything else?
watching a bunch of movies, Jackie Brown.
Love movie. My favorite Tarantino movie
Yeah, same.
of all of them.
Same. I purchased a couple of movies online. A director's cut of The Wolfman.
Of what one?
Wolfman with Benicio del Toro and Anthony Hopkins.
Who directed that?
Emily Blunt.
Emily Blunt's in that?
Yeah, it's a good one.
Oh, I will check it out now. I love
check it
her,
out if you can. Check out the director's cut, the unrated version, because it's about 16 to 15 minutes more of the movie, and it fleshes out the characters a little bit more. So, but the original cut's good too. Theatrical, it's fine. I liked it because it had a lot of old school prosthetics for the Wolfman. It wasn't all CGI, which is great.
Did you ever see the Wolf horror movie Wolfman? It was from my time. It was really famous. American Werewolf. In London,
in Paris, and all those. Yeah, no,
the London one, the first one.
I've seen bits and pieces. I haven't seen the full movie, but
okay. The sidekick character, Griffin Dunn. It is. You need to go back. It's not about the horror and some of the prosthetics or whatever, but it's filmed great. But watch him when he shows back up dead, it's worth
Yeah.
it to watch it for his scenes. Like he's checking out the nurse. I'm just like, and he's eating. You can see the food
Yeah,
going through
yeah.
the hole. It's just, and he starts decomposing every time.
Yeah.
It's the comedic relief, obviously.
Yeah.
But when the guy walks into this bar, and the guy tells him to get off the moors,
Yeah.
that bar is pretty phenomenal and scary.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's some good points, so check it out sometime.
Okay. I think you'll like the Wolfman. It's got that classic Wolfman feel to it. Like that, like it's got that like old school. They didn't go like underworld kind of Wolfman. They went like, like
British.
No, they went like what's the original Wolfman? Who played the original Wolfman back in like the 20s? That one.
Lon Chaney, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. They went with that look. They went with that kind of look.
Oh my gosh! In fact, okay, the Wolfman you're talking about almost had like a shirt on, like a button shirt, and then the hair on top. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
He's coming in through the window or the door or something. I mean, it's a famous movie shot.
It's a famous movie shot. Yeah.
And it's only the hands and the head have the fur, and he had almost like he worked for Sears, type of, right?
Yeah.
Ah, man.
So check out the Wolfman. I think you'll like it. Great cast. Who's the guy that played? He was on The Matrix. He played Agent Smith. You know them. He's been in a ton of movies. Hugo Weaving, I think.
Yes.
Right? So he's in there.
Man,
he plays
that
the
guy
he plays the detective
it.
that goes and investigates the murders, and then Benicio del Toro, who's an actor, his brother's killed.
What year is it?
It's set in like a
30s, 20s.
20s.
Okay.
Early 1900s time period. Emily Blunt's the widowed wife of his brother. Anthony Hopkins is his dad, and so it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Pretty good movie. It's one of my favorites. That type of monster movie, I guess. And then Heat. I purchased the director's cut of Heat, which came out I think in 2012 with the director's cut.
What's your favorite moment in Heat?
Before the coffee shop scene, where he chases them down on the freeway, and it has that like rock and roll kind of like.
Okay, because when you say coffee house scene, I'm thinking about the other one.
Not the other one.
Which is very intense too, by the way.
Not the beginning one with Wayne Grow.
Okay.
But the one with him and Pacino.
Wayne Grow is the actor that's in the show with Kyra Cedric, the police show.
Okay.
He's the guy who was
up here and there.
He's in Silence of the Lambs. He's the Buffalo Bill.
He looks. I don't think it's the same guy. It's a different guy. But the Buffalo Bill's in Heat. The same actor is in Heat.
Yeah.
He's a detective in Heat. You look it up. They look very similar.
They look
very similar. Very similar. Yeah.
Oh, you're right. He's the Heat with West. He's the detective with West.
He's the detective. Yeah. He
Yes.
dies. He dies in the film towards the end.
Yes,
But obviously the shootout's great. Oh, but
Wayne Grow dies at the end too, because doesn't De Niro kill him at the end?
He does at the end. But I have to recommend, if you haven't seen Heat in a while, if you can, at least rent or whatever, the recent director's cut. It's a full 4K restoration. He did the color, the sound, like it looks.
I'll come over and watch it sometime.
Yeah. It looks. I don't know what kind of TV you have, but it looks amazing.
Which is rare because certain things I'm finding on my high def.
Yeah.
It's like whoa.
It's noticeable in terms of like the original cut, theatrical cut from like 95, and then you watch the fully restored version and enhanced. It's basically enhanced. I wouldn't even see it's a restored. It's like in a fully enhanced color correction.
Well, they re-telecine the original 35.
Yeah,
they took it from they didn't add. They went from the beginning and brought it up with today's technology.
Michael Mann and the cinematographer from the original came back into the editing room and redid everything. Both of them. So
it's a great movie. Now, my favorite scene, you're going to think this is stupid, but my favorite scene is when Robert De Niro shows up at his house without the furniture, and that's where Val Kilmer had crashed on the floor after having the fight with Ashley Judd.
Yeah.
And there's something about does he give him a cup of coffee or something? He kind of gets up, he hands him. There's just something about that conversation. It seems like the most natural conversation I've seen on film.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, he's like, you
I
got
don't
some bit
know
on the
anything
side? He's
about
like,
these two
no.
guys, you know, but there was something that was very just
Yeah.
natural or expected. And so that for me, I mean, I love the shootouts. I love all the
Yeah.
stuff and
But those
everything. I
those
love
moments are
punching.
great. Like
Yeah, you got to
even
have those moments. They're called
e-
you need the respite from the action.
yeah, even
I
when
got to
the
breathe.
even I
I got
love
to
the scene.
care.
Yeah, exactly. Even when the scene when he buys the job from the guy in the guy in the wheelchair with the
Oh,
beard,
yeah,
and
you know
just
who that is, don't you?
he's a I don't know the guy's name. I've
Okay.
seen him in a few
What
movies.
movie did, okay, Michael Mann, what's some of his movies he did? He did a movie that started the whole Hannibal thing.
Manhunter. Yeah,
Yeah.
this
And who
guy's
was the
tall. That
bad
actor
who
that
was the
actor is
bad
tall.
guy? It was that guy.
Was that
That's
guy?
who gets killed in the kitchen.
Mm,
And
okay.
he's talking about the schematics, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
He's
And
like,
I love,
he's like, it's out there. You just got to grab it. You
yeah,
just got to grab it.
I love John Voight, the way he puts
Yeah,
it. I
yeah,
thought
yeah.
he was small character, the phones.
Small.
He's just
It's
slimy as
great.
could be.
Even
And
his first introduction, that just the way it's shot, and like
oh yeah.
they're under the freeway, and then he goes about what the business and the bit like what's going on and what they got to do for the thing, and then he stops before he goes. He's like, hey, what happened out there? He's like, don't ask.
Hey,
Yeah,
listen,
yeah,
you are Michael Mann.
yeah,
Look at what we've talked about his work. We love his movies, and he tells the story
yeah.
visually.
Well, I had to
And I
I had to
agree.
review a lot of his films too, and it wasn't hard work because I love him anyway.
Okay, so is he
Collateral.
your favorite?
He's my favorite. He's my favorite all time. That movie I could watch anytime, any day. I love every minute of that movie. And like just to see it, like when I was watching the because I had it on DVD, so I watched it again on DVD, and then I bought the restored director's cut, and I used it. It's noticeable, and I'm just like the whole time I'm like, wow, that look it look the way they
Well,
made it
that's
look
good
great.
because, like we talked about, some movies we're watching on our digital.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
great.
okay, no, all right. I just you know who? Okay, my favorite movie of his is Last of the Mohicans, and he
Yeah,
just produced that though. He didn't direct it,
yeah.
but as a director,
But I would say if you can get a
oh
chance,
no, he directed Last of the Mohicans.
yeah, he did.
Okay, yeah.
Watch the director's cut of. You have Amazon. I think they're on Amazon. You
Mhm.
go the director's cut of Wolfman and Heat, and just to get a like
Well,
a
he had quite the run here. Look at that. He had Last of the Mohicans, Heat, The Insider, and Ali. All those were Oscar nominated movies.
yeah.
And you know the detective in Heat? It's
Hmm.
interesting. We always talk about how the uh, directors love people. I mean,
Yeah,
Wes Studi was in Heat, and I thought in Last of the
and
Mohicans,
Last Mohicans.
he stole every scene.
Yeah.
I thought he was just
Uh,
incredible.
what else?
So
What else did I see? Yeah, a few of his movies. Um, I'm a big Star Wars guy, so I've been catching up on the Mandalorian series.
I'm praying
Um,
for you.
it's a great series, man. It's probably some of the best Star Wars stuff that's come out in like quite a while. Um, the Mandalorian, Rogue One, even the Han Solo movie actually was pretty good. The last trilogy was like fell apart storyline wise. It fell apart um, because they changed directors. They tried to do like the original series, then tried to do
Mm.
J.J. Abrams. Then they went to Ryan Johnson, and then they realized it wasn't working because it's two different visions. And so they went back to J.J. Abrams, and he had to freaking try to correct everything, and it just he did what he could. Um, yeah, no, it's great, man. Mandalorian's a great series, man. It's a really I know you're not a Star Wars guy, sci-fi kind of guy, but yeah, I've been watching that.
Well,
Um,
okay. So Terminator was a great
yeah,
sci-fi
yeah.
movie.
But in
Aliens.
terms
So
of
I do
Star
like
Wars is its
them.
own world. You know what I mean?
No, I
No.
can't get into it. Is it because maybe I was back in the '70s with it?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So even though it goes on,
You might
my
like it.
wife
Maybe
loves space.
you don't have Disney Plus, huh? There's no reason for you to really get Disney Plus. I don't think it's a good
No,
app.
I'm not getting anything done in my life as it is. I don't need another app to watch. God
Yeah.
forbid.
Before I go, before we end the show, so I wanted to get your thoughts on Warner Brothers and what they're doing. So AT&T obviously owns all of Warner Brothers and
Mhm.
DC Comics, and they're just gutting the hell out of these two companies. And they want to go on digital. They want to put everything digital.
Of course, man.
The comic world is suffering right now just from coronavirus and all that, and shops are closing up or whatever. But publication wise, they want to scale back to the point where they might even close up shop at DC Comics, which is the big thing. But then,
well, I mean, this is just not talking entertainment. This is talking straight across the board on so many levels of industry, not just entertainment. And you know, I mean, it was interesting. Who was I talking with? We were talking about theaters. Now, I love going to theater, and I love going to theater by myself. It's kind of like hiking. I enjoy the peace, and I don't want to know anything about the movies. I saw some of the greatest movies in Chicago for 22 years. I would sneak out on a Monday or whatever and go see them. Without theaters, it's sad. There's no doubt that the industry is all about making money, and that is the bottom line. And when you can remove a lot of the, your service costs, your budgets, all these different things. I mean, I don't know if there'll be theaters. I know people say, "Oh, Broadway's going to come back," but it's not on whether they can wait. Property is cost. These theaters are in areas that have high revenue.
But I think those industries are going to suffer for the moment. But people, hopefully we get back to some type of normalcy. People want to get out. People like to go out and do things. People like to go out, and so whether
but you know what, when I'm at places, there are no people.
No, not right now. Not right now. No, let's say things calm down. Let's say when things calm down.
But it all is going to depend who can keep carrying these weights of debt. That is what will last. Now, will they all be gone? Exactly. Maybe not, but some of these big chains or these independent theaters won't be there anymore. We won't see the restaurants and different things.
But at least for Broadway, I think a lot of the independent theaters, a lot of stuff's going to close up shop for good. But eventually, you're going to have people that are just going to come back and rebuild. Same with theaters. People like to get out. People like to do things, go on dates. There's certain movies where you just have to see it on the big screen. Most of them I could probably see on the little screen, but.
I agree, but
I got to see something on the big screen. I got to see a Star Wars. I got to see a Marvel on a big screen. Those are those type of like.
Hey, I agree. I am 100%. There are movies you watch and you see trailers, and they aren't going to translate from the small screen emotionally. 100%. But on the other hand, it is the bottom line is the dollar, and the truth is that they don't care. Disney doesn't care if you're in a theater or sitting on your couch. They would rather you be sitting on the couch. That way, they can bring in the next show right away.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be different, but it also is going to be different in the storytelling. And I wonder if there's going to be everyone's going to put out these movies and point fingers and do all this crap. But the truth is, look at what the top 10 on Netflix are. Mm-hmm. Look at them. Queen's Gambit's number 1, but when you Google them, none of those have anything serious to say.
No, that's true.
You know what I mean? A lot of them are kids' ones from being trapped.
Yeah.
But the truth is, people want entertainment. They want to disappear. And I really, I don't know,
it's going to be interesting to see how things, come like rebuild.
I agree.
A lot of industries are going to be gutted. They're going to be cleansed of the good and the bad, and it's going to take a lot of rebuilding. So. Be interesting.
Well, the truth is, like my wife and I say, and all old people, we grew up in a great era. I'm the generation that bridged between the old and the digital. You know what I mean? And it's just interesting and entertainment. But I'll tell you what, all the actors and actresses who have kept to yourselves, and I don't know anything about you, thank you, so that I can go to your movies and disappear. I appreciate it 100%. And I think that, who's to say what will happen? I mean, I think everybody thought this fall would be, but then I heard from certain people don't see a normalcy to 2022, not next year at all.
I could believe that. Yeah.
So that being said, it's been killer I've been vaccinating with Jameson. And I haven't caught COVID yet, or so I know. And I think if I did catch it during those times, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
But anyway, have a good week, man.
Yeah,
And
thank
I'm
you.
sorry it took so long to get caught up. Now, next week, my schedule, I have these afternoons. So if you want to get caught up on even one or two. But yeah, it was my biggest pick this week, other than always the Queen's Gambit, and is this movie Mosul on Netflix, covering the Iraqi ex-police SWAT team going after ISIS.
Yeah.
There's a brotherhood, and I'm just going to say this one scene. So the fighting breaks, and they brought this young guy with them, and he's all nervous, and he's looking out, and everybody else is smoking and eating, and they're watching a Kuwaiti soap opera.
Okay.
So, and instantly they're back, and the head guy says to the young guy, "Hey, we take a break when we can."
Yeah.
And it was very interesting. So, of the last couple weeks, it really
for the
has
week,
stuck with me. So, I watched it twice, and my wife said the opening is one of the most intense openings she's seen for war.
Yeah.
It's right up there with Saving Private Ryan, not on the scale of Normandy, but the intensity. That's my recommendation of this week.
My recommendation is probably the two movies that I went and revisited, but the director's cut versions, the newly restored and added scenes. So, The Wolfman with Anthony Hopkins and Benicio del Toro, unrated. Theatrical is good too, so you wouldn't miss anything there either. It just fleshes out the characters a little bit more. And then Heat, the director's cut that was released not that long ago, fully restored, looks amazing. So I'd recommend those. Aside from the two series we talked about, Breaking Bad, and for all the Star Wars and sci-fi people, Mandalorian. Obviously, they're probably up on it anyway.
But Queen's Gambit.
If you haven't seen it yet, people got to watch it. The
music is killer in it too, man.
It's the pick of the year for sure.
It is. So. It is, and you gave me the greatest. Yeah. It's been very awesome. So, listen, man, have a good week.
All right, man.
We'll talk to you all next week.
All right, take care.